Welcome to Embrace Your Fantasy. I'm Te-Erika, and I'm so excited you joined me again for another episode. It's been about 3 weeks since I did my last one, and I want to talk about why. 3 weeks ago, I became miserable, and usually I'm not that type of a person, but so I kind of used it as a learning experience, because I used to be miserable a lot when I was younger. In my early 20s all the way through my late 20s, I was miserable. And then I got out of it, like 2007, 2008, really made this transition and learned a lot of things through a lot of philosophical studies. So that's why I hope to share with you on this YouTube channel. But today we're going to talk about misery and how to get out of it. And let me see, the questions I want to ask, well, how did I become miserable? And how did I end my misery? And what do you do if you encounter a miserable person? So let's talk about dealing with misery today. So how did I become miserable? You know what, it's kind of funny. I became miserable because everything that I've been wanting to happen has been happening. Not every single thing, but I can totally see the wheels turning towards the vision that I have for my life. Certain things have just been falling into place, and it kind of scared me, and I was on this joyful high for a while. And it kind of made me nervous, like things can't be this good all the time, can they? But yes, they can. So everything I wanted to happen, a lot of the things I wanted to happen started happening, as well as a lot of different changes in my own being, who I am, my preferences, and things that I thought I liked, I don't like anymore. And so it's just a lot of changes, and it kind of scared me. And I was becoming fearful of who I'm becoming, because I feel like my soul is spinning and no one can stop this whirlwind, and I want to stop, or I want to see where it's going to end up, but I have no control over that. So I was feeling out of control of the circumstances and the different changes that are happening within and without in my circumstances. So I just began to feel bad about my lack of control. And then I kind of think I enjoyed the bad feeling in a way. Maybe that's kind of a little bit masochistic, but I kind of enjoyed feeling like down. When in order to continue that feeling, I started focusing on other things that I felt like I couldn't control, and things from my past that made me feel sad, and I kept it up and I kept it up, and I just really let it all snowball. I allowed it to snowball, and I sunk into this misery until the point where it affected me at work, it affected me with my friends. It was just a lot of just everything. I just piled this mountain of obstacles on top of me that made me believe, or told me to believe, that I couldn't become who or what I wanted to become. And it was just really, really like crazy that whole time, but I'm out of it. So let's talk about how I ended my misery. I ended my misery, I think it took, just like I say in my other videos, happiness is a conscious choice. It's choosing to be happy in every single moment. And one day I just said, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Like, I want to go back to my regular self, the self who sings all the time and who likes to laugh and who likes to talk instead of discussing the obstacles. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay. And I'm still like progressing towards where I was before, where I was absolutely joyful. But I started retraining my thoughts again, and I decided that I'm going to live in a fantasy world where everything that happens is happening to push me towards my greatest dream. I'm adopting that belief, because remember I told you before that we choose our beliefs, and we should choose good ones that make us feel good about who we are, instead of fearful about who we are and where we're going, and beliefs that make us hate ourselves. So I believe that everything that happens, no matter what, if I lose my shoe, if I can't find my keys, if my schedule's messed up at work, or anything that happens, whether I wanted it to happen or not, is actually lining me up towards, pushing me toward where I really want to be. But think about it, quickly, that any time you have a goal or a vision, if you stay exactly where you are, you're never going to get there. So change has to happen. So even if something changes and you didn't ask for that to change, you didn't want that to change, and you don't see how that could help you, you have to trust that it does help you, push you towards where you want to be, because you have to change. in order to get to where you want to be. And those changes may not come in the ways you expect them to. So I just wanted to share that. But that's what I adopted, and every day I repeat that belief that everything that happens is for my good. Everything that happens is pushing me towards where I want to be, and every day that's what I'm thinking, and it's gotten me back into a joyful state where I actually was singing again today. But what do you want to do if you encounter a miserable person? How do you deal with a miserable person? How my friends dealt with me these past 3 weeks was crazy, but they're great friends. So I'll tell you a little bit about the symptoms. You can tell a person is miserable if they always wear a frown on their face. Every time you see them, they got their eyes all scrunched up and their nose all wrinkled up because they're so like angry about something, and nothing around them is messed up, but they're angry on the inside. They're just angry with who they are. And they're critical of the world and everyone in it. And every time you talk to them, they always have to say, look what happened, that's so bad, and look at this person did me so wrong, and like, oh, this person is so ugly and I can't talk to him because he's this, and da 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 da. And every time they meet someone, they hate them. Like, oh God, look at her, or oh God, look at him. It's always something negative to say about everything. The world, their friends, their goals, everybody around them is always something very critical, and you can tell that that's a miserable person. And my last symptom of misery is a nonchalant attitude, or on the flip side, an explosive attitude about every little thing. Like, your car just got broken into. Yeah, alright, whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I dropped my pencil, and go into a fit of rage. Like, they just like, you never know what to expect from them, and they're miserable. Why are they miserable? Because on the inside they feel like something is wrong with them, and they feel powerless to control changing whatever it is that they feel is wrong with them. And honestly, it's because they're focusing on what they don't have instead of what they do. And anytime you focus on what you don't have instead of what you do have, you're going to be miserable. So, but the number one reason why people are miserable, anybody is miserable, here's the reason why. Because they want to be miserable. Because I told you before that every belief is a choice, and what you choose to focus on is your choice too. So I know that in order to evoke certain emotions, we have to think those thoughts that will be able to propel those emotions, right? So if I want to be happy, if I want to laugh, I'm going to think about the time my friend told me a funny joke, or something my son said that made me smile. But if I want to be sad, I'm going to keep on thinking about those things that I have no control over, the things that times I felt like a victim. I'm going to keep focusing on those things. And miserable people do that. They focus on those things that they have no control over, and that make them feel the way they want to feel, which is miserable. So what do you do when you encounter a miserable person? Nothing. Don't do anything, because you can't make them happy. There is nothing you can do or say, or any gift you could buy them, or any trip you could take them on that's going to change their mood. Maybe for a minute, maybe for an hour or two where they're drinking, they might lighten up and forget about choosing misery. But for the most part, you can't do anything for them. So kind of be a listening ear. If that's your friend, be a listening ear if they want to vent, until it starts to affect you vibrationally and starts to give you that negative energy. Then you gotta cut them off. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of stay out of their way. You know, let it pass, because usually healthy mentally people, healthy people with healthy mental attitudes won't choose misery for long. But sometimes you just fall astray, I guess, and you have to get back, and nobody can do it for you. You have to pull yourself back. So just let them be, and check up on them and make sure they're still alive. So thanks for tuning in tonight. My name is Te-Erika. You're watching Embrace Your Fantasy, and I just taught you how to deal with miserable people. You have a beautiful, beautiful night.